Cavin Elizabeth, a wedding photographer and bridal boutique owner, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys the things that you should do in the last 30 days before your wedding. Before we get into today's video, I just wanted to cue you guys into my book. If you have not already purchased A Bride's Guide to a Picture Perfect Wedding, it is a 5-star rated book that you can get on Amazon, or if you are international, you can get it on Amazon for the Kindle e-reader version, or you can go get it on Etsy if you want the printed version that does ship internationally. This is an amazing book that teaches you guys how to make the most of your wedding day photos to help your photographer. It basically teaches you everything that you need to know from the beginning of the wedding day to the end of the wedding day and beyond to ensure that you have the perfect canvas for the best possible wedding photos. You guys can see the guide in the description down below of everything that this is going to teach you that I don't include on every single one of my YouTube videos. So this gets into the nitty-gritty of all of the different things that can really help you guys fine-tune your wedding pictures. So if you really value your wedding day photos, this is the perfect thing to gift yourself, or if you are watching this, to gift somebody else that is engaged. So go ahead and check out this book. You can grab the print or the e-reader version online, link down in the description below. Now, this is not all of the things that you should be doing in the last 30 days before your wedding, but it is quite a lot of the things that you should be doing in the last 30 days before your wedding. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys about 20 different things that you should have on your 30-day countdown list. One of the most important things that you should be doing, if not in the last 60 days for planning it, at least getting it on the calendar, in the last 30 days you should be applying for your marriage license. Now, you need to check the requirements for your state as to when you should actually go and get your marriage license, but this should absolutely be on your radar in the last 30 days before your wedding, getting your marriage license. The second thing you should be doing is double checking when your final balances are due for your vendors. Some vendors require the final balance due 30 days before the wedding, some require it due 2 weeks before the wedding, some 1 week, some on the wedding day itself. One tip that I have for you guys is to maybe pay some of those final balances early. So if they're due 2 weeks before the wedding, maybe start paying them 30 days before the wedding. Kind of space them out. I find that it's a little bit financially easier if you don't pay them all off on the same day. So if they're all due 2 weeks before the wedding, maybe space them out a little earlier so it's not all one huge hit all on the same day. About 4 weeks before, maybe even earlier, if you know your stylist books out further in advance, schedule a haircut and color or whatever it is you might need at an appropriate time before the wedding. So if you know that your color takes about a week to look its best, then book your hair color about a week before your wedding starts, or however long it needs. So just start scheduling your hair appointment about a month out or even further out if your hair colorist or stylist takes a long time to book their appointment. So just let this be on your radar. And then another thing that you need to do about 30 days before your wedding is start contacting those RSVPs who did not actually RSVP, because you're going to need to submit to your caterer a final head count in the last 30 days before your wedding. Some require it pretty far out, some require it a little closer to the wedding, maybe 2 weeks a week, but you're going to want to start getting those final head counts. So start calling or emailing those guests who did not RSVP by the actual deadline. Another thing that you're going to want to do is start shopping for honeymoon clothing, whether it's nighttime clothing or swimwear, things like that, or just cute little outfits that you can wear out and about. One thing that I found from past vacations is that I would always wear like active wear, so like leggings and activewear shorts and tennis shoes, because I was like, oh, I just want to be comfy on all my trips. But then in all my pictures, I looked back and I wasn't wearing cute clothes. And I was like, dang it, like I don't look cute. I just wanted to dress comfortable. But always in my day-to-day life, when I go out and about, I'm just as comfortable in my normal like cute clothing. So that really got me thinking on my like future vacations and in my past like trip or two, I actually wanted to dress cuter and cute but still comfortable. So I started actually packing cuter clothing, and I stopped packing leggings and things like that on my trips because I actually wanted to look back in my pictures and look at myself and feel cute about the way that I looked. And so that's what I started doing. So before your honeymoon, if you want to feel the same way that I feel about my pictures, start like shopping for cute clothes, or at least start thinking about what you're going to wear if you don't want to shop for new clothes. Another Another thing that you might want to do is start sending your DJ a list, or your band a list of do not play and must play songs. This is something that they're going to want to collect from you. So in the last 30 days, this is a great time to start working on your song list. One more thing that you are going to want to do is ensure that all of your day of paper, so like your signage, your place cards, your escort card display, your menus, your programs, that all of those things are written or created or painted or printed. All of those things are completed or in the progress of being completed, whether you are DIYing them or someone you know is DIYing them, or at least if you are hiring them, that they're in the works, and that on the wedding day, somebody is in charge of getting them to the wedding. So you're going to want to make sure that all of this is in the works and it's on time, and it is going to be on the wedding day and placed by somebody who is assigned to them. So make sure that this is all in the works and it is being worked on, and it is going to be dealt with properly on the wedding day. One big project that you might procrastinate on if you are writing your own vows is actually writing your own vows. This is something that some people put off to the last minute. I have seen couples put this off until the wedding day itself, and they're scrambling to write those vows on the actual wedding day. Do not do this. Put some thought into this. You're going to do this with your partner on the wedding day, speaking them aloud to each other if you're writing your own vows. You do not want to wait until the wedding day to actually get these words out on the paper. So make sure that you start writing this at least a couple weeks before your wedding day so that you can make them thoughtful and intentional. Another thing that you guys are going to want to start doing in the last couple weeks before your wedding is shopping for wedding party gifts, or maybe even gifts for your parents. So make sure that you do this early, especially if you want to get them monogrammed or personalized. That might take some extra time from the vendors that you're buying them from, or if you're DIYing them, it might take you some time to do this. So make sure that you start this early and don't wait too late to do this. So at least 3 weeks before your wedding, I recommend scheduling any kind of manicures, pedicures, and beauty treatments that you need. Make sure that you get in so that you don't have a hard time booking these treatments too close to your wedding day. So at least 2 weeks before your wedding, you're going to want to have your final dress fitting, your final alterations fitting. I recommend starting your first fitting about 6 to 8 weeks before your wedding, so that you're going to have your final fitting 2 weeks before the wedding day. And at your final fitting, if you can, take someone responsible to learn the bustle for your wedding. I have a video all about bustles. I might have one or two. You guys can go watch those. Just search bustle on my channel. That's B-U-S-T-L-E, and you'll be able to find them, but take somebody to learn it. If you cannot take anybody with you, have your seamstress have someone film a video learning how to do it, and this is the time when you're going to want to do it. And then schedule a steaming for your wedding dress. If you are getting married in the same city as your alterations place, schedule a steaming, have them do it professionally. I find that that's a lot less stressful than having someone trying to steam your wedding dress on the wedding weekend. And then have the dress be scheduled to be picked up within a couple of days or the day before your wedding, and that way it's nice and fresh for your actual wedding day. About 2 weeks again before the wedding, you are going to want to kind of collaborate with your wedding planner, make sure that the wedding timeline is looking good and it's organized properly, and so that you also know what's going on for the wedding day. That way everything is going to be nice and ironed out, and you've got all of the things under control for the timeline. Again, around this time, you are going to also want to organize your wedding favors. Make sure that you don't need any extras. Don't do this at the last minute, because if you do have to order anything extra, you might not have time. So maybe about a week before the wedding, one thing that I recommend doing is assigning a point person for the wedding night to, at the end of the evening, collect all of your gifts and then your leftover decor, things that you are keeping from the wedding, maybe things that you DIY'd or just things that your vendors are allowing you to keep. That person is going to collect all of these items and then bring them to your hotel room at the end of the night, or keep them in their room and deliver them to you the next day, or maybe take them to your home if you live in the wedding city. Something like that. This person or people are going to be the point person. So maybe about a week out, contact someone and ask them if they're able to do this for you. So at the end of the night, they will be collecting all these items for you. So this is a good time to do that. Okay, this one is really important, and you might not be wanting to do this because you're going to be dreading it, but a week before the wedding, you are going to want to check the weather to see if there is any sign of rain or inclement weather for your wedding day. And if there is, then now is the time to start contacting vendors for rain plan options. So if it looks like it's going to rain and your wedding is outside, you might want to contact a vendor about getting a tent for your wedding, because if you can't move inside, a tent is going to be your option for outside. And if you can move inside, then you are going to want to talk to your venue and your planner about options for moving inside and what that might look like. So definitely keep an eye on the weather, make some rain plans. I know it's not ideal, and you might think that, oh, if I make rain plans, then I'm going to jinx myself. That's not true. That's not how the world works. You can't jinx yourself. This is just being smart. You need to have rain plans in place. A few days before the wedding, when you meet up with your bridesmaid and groomsmen, or however your wedding parties are organized, give a point person. I talked about this in my recent Managing Large Bridal Party video. You need to have 2 point people, so 1 point person from either side of each wedding party, to give the timeline to and let them know to read over the timeline, get familiar with it, and have them be the point person on the wedding day for managing each side of the wedding party. This is very important. So you need to give this to them a few days before the wedding, at least a few days before if you can. If you're not seeing them until like a day or two before the wedding, that's fine too, but give them the timeline and make sure that they are going to go over and be responsible for the wedding day so that they can help and make sure that everything runs smoothly. You also need to, a few days before the wedding, pack your suitcase, and whether you live in the wedding city or you are traveling to the wedding city, pack your suitcase. Make sure you have all of your wedding outfits. I've had brides forget some of their wedding outfits and leave them at home, and this is really sad. Make sure you have all your wedding outfits. Also pack an emergency kit with Tylenol, maybe fashion tape, bobby pins, safety pins, maybe anything that you think, like band-aids, that you think that you might possibly need for the wedding day. Really anything, just pack it all. Even if you think you might not need it, just pack little things in your kit just to have on hand in case something goes wrong, anything like that. So just pack it. And then the night before the wedding, perhaps at the rehearsal itself, gather your family and your wedding party and just prep them. Let them know that the photos for the next day are going to be very important to you. Let them know what time each group needs to be at the wedding for their specific photos. Let them know not to wander off until the photographer has released them, because this happens so often. It'll be time for family photos, but the family will wander off because they see another family member who's not in the photos that they want to talk to, and then nobody can find them. Then the pictures can't continue, and it delays things, and it is such a nightmare, and then it makes things late, and then you lose out on time for your couples portraits. So let the family know not to wander off until they are released. Let the wedding party know not to wander off until they are released. Let everybody know to pay attention to the photographer and not to like get too rowdy. If you prep your groups for photos, they will be so much more successful, and then you will have saved so much time, and you will have a lot more time for each group of pictures because things will not run as late, and it will be so amazing. Your photographer will thank you so much for it, and it will be incredible. All right, my last tip is the day of the wedding. You need to make sure that you pay off any remaining balances. Some vendors like have you paying their final balances on the day of the wedding, which I think is like totally crazy because it just seems so like messy to me, but some people require that. So make sure you pay them and then pay out any tips that you want to pay to your vendors. I find it really easy if you have a wedding planner to place all of your tips in envelopes, write the vendor's name on them, give it to your planner, and then the planner can pass them out so you don't have to worry about it. Or if you want to give the tips to like your maid of honor or someone, and they can pass it out to the vendors so that you are not having to worry about it. And then same kind of concept, pass off all responsibilities to other people, to your planner or to somebody else, so that you can just relax and enjoy your day, because you do not want to be working on your wedding day. You need to be relaxing and soaking every minute of it up because it goes by so incredibly fast. So that is it. That is my 30-day wedding 10-day countdown pretty much of all the things that you should be doing in the last 30 days of your wedding. That is not everything, but that is a lot of the stuff that you need to be focusing on. I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I hope that this brought up some of the things that you might have missed so that now you know to do them. And write in the comments down below maybe something that you didn't think of, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!